Visage is first-person psychological horror from SadSqaure Studio. It had early access with Kickstart campaign and was fully released in October 2020. It draws inspiration from other games such as PT, a teaser for Silent Hills which was cancelled, Konami, Amnesia Dark Descent, and in other medias like The Grudge, the movie for example. As it's inspired by other psychological horror, the game does very well in creating a disturbing and unsettling atmosphere of horror all around. Now, Visage's story is set in a vast house filled with history. Terrible history. You assume the role of Dwayne. That's pretty much it. Nothing about the protagonist, antagonist, or any other history about the house is revealed. You just have an introduction scene, then you wake up in a very similar fashion to PT. Difference is that you are in a house with rooms to explore rather than a corridor. As you progress through the game, you are given a choice of 3 chapters to play based on 3 characters that play the key role in each plot: Lucy, Dolores, and Raycon. There are no orders in which you must play these chapters, but playing each chapter feels slightly different to the other. Once you have completed all 3 chapters, the game will take you to the final ending. What kind of ending you will get is dependent on what items you have collected to unlock them. As the developer have clearly stated, it draws inspiration from other horror games. The eerie first-person view from PT, chains on the doors that are reminiscent of Silent Hill for the room, sanity meter from Amnesia. This is Easter egg as well.
That's Doom.
Of course, there are other creepy and scary ghosts all around too, and a decent narrative to follow it as well. To really get you immersed, there are no elements of HUD in the game besides the sanity meter on the bottom left corner. Inventory space is limited to 5, although you can hold up to 2 items in your hand as well. Source of lighting can be scarce, and sound, or the rather lack of sounds, makes it really engaging. Now, lack of HUD also increases the difficulty with the game. There are no indication of clear objectives or directions. You are required to solve puzzles and navigate through the game without knowing where to go or how to get to the next objective. For this reason, the game can get you very frustrated in many places without any guidance too. In other words, Visage is hard, difficult, and punishing. Oh yeah. That said, there are a couple of problems with the game. First of all, controlling this game is sluggish. Opening and closing doors on PC can be very sluggish, for example. Some of the interactions are very slow or don't function well at all. Plus, it will take a while for players to get used to the inventory management with items in hand. Second problem is with bugs. There are numerous instances where you can be clipped into a solid object or through an object. While the latter is useful for speedrunning the game, for most players who want horror experience, this is not really what you want. Not only that, the bugs in the game can actually prevent you from progressing with the game, as happened to myself. Save and load can solve issues, but honestly, realizing if you are bugged or not is a step in itself. Now, lastly, not a problem per se, but each chapter has a different playstyle. While I really liked Lucy and Dolores chapters, I really didn't care for the Raycon chapter. The former chapters had that sense of fear all around them. There was that imminent sense of danger and ghosts were going to take you. Raycon chapter, on the other hand, completely fell flat. The gimmicks in Raycon chapters were not scary, rather just an annoyance. It's a shame, really. Visage has a decent playtime, with each chapter lasting around 2 hours on the first playthrough. If you are looking to unlock all the endings and collect all the items, that also can be done and will increase playtime. I do think finishing the main chapters without any guides is the best way to enjoy the game. That said, I do think you will need some guide to collect all items to unlock all the answers. The nature of a horror game like this means that there is not much of replayability. You know where the scares is. You know what the answers to puzzles are, and you know exactly what to do. But I do think there is replayability in this game, simply because the game is really well made.
It's like a purgatory.
Well, at least for Lucy and Dolores chapter. Now overall, this was a truly pleasant horror experience I have had in a while. The game was scary, but didn't rely on cheap jumpscare mechanics. It was filled with a great atmosphere and sense of danger all around, and if you like horror, I would highly recommend this. Just be warned that the game is very punishing and difficult. And that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.